Nerdydollgirl here with my adorable Akagi doll, Lane, who I called Ziggy. Thank you to Jazz, who named him. Again, I apologize for mistaking you with Marshall, but I do want to thank you so much because I love his name. It's so awesome. I want to apologize for being late with my video. I normally do my videos on Saturdays, but this week was a very busy Saturday, so I was not able to get it done in time. So that's why I'm going to do it today. I've also been struggling with my depression and anxiety, so that always makes it a lot more challenging to make my videos. I try really hard to just push through it, but sometimes it can be really overwhelming. So yeah, but anyways, this is a follow-up video. One of my awesome viewers, Kiwithefox, asked me if I could do some more, answer some of her questions about resin versus vinyl. So I thought I would go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put Ziggy down. And I do have exciting news. I am almost there, almost to enough to buy my Akagi doll, 66 centimeter doll from Alice's collection. So I have to keep selling some stuff, but I'm almost there thanks to one of my amazing viewers who bought one of my dolls. So every little bit has helped, and I love you guys so much. And it really, I really appreciate you contacting me and asking me about my dolls, because I do want them to go to good homes. And so yeah, thank you guys so much. So she was asking some questions, and this is what I love, guys. If you have any questions about anything that I might have talked about, or you want me to talk about something that I haven't talked about, or I missed a point or whatever, you please feel free to message me, comment. I am happy to make new videos. I'm happy to, you know, try and like answer questions that I didn't remember or think of, because I'm just one person and I don't remember and think of everything. So I really appreciate when you guys, you know, comment. So the question she was asking was, she said, resin tends to yellow over time. This is one of the big reasons my boys and girls live hidden somewhere most of the time. How does vinyl dolls compare to this? Do they have to be kept away the same way, or could they sit around freely, not in direct sunlight, 24 hours, just in general, on a desk, for example? So, for the resin, the longest dolls that I've ever had that are resin are my Tonnerby JDs, and they tend to be, if they've yellowed at all, it's very minimum, and it doesn't really bother me, and I really can't, you know, it's not an obvious thing. I know that certain resin is more likely to yellow. I know French resin, I believe, is the one that is quite quick to yellow. The other longest doll that I had was my Minifee Chloe, and she was 5 years old, I believe, and 4 or 5 years old, and she didn't yellow. Now I do keep my dolls in a cabinet, and I am in a basement, so it's easier for them to not be in direct sunlight that way. So I don't know if that's why they haven't yellowed, or if I'm just particularly lucky. Sorry, my Blythe knockoff is right here staring at me. It's kind of freaking me out. 1 second. I promise I will pick her up and put her proper. I am not trying to be neglectful. It's just, yeah. But that was freaking me out. So anyways, so she was wondering if vinyl has the same issue. Now, I've only had smart dolls I had a smart doll about 2 years ago, my first one, Ebony, and she was tan skinned, so I couldn't obviously see any yellowing on her. And my newest ones, the Sienna obviously is also tan skin, but my EG Ashia, he is the pale skin. I hate using the normal skin. I hate that term. But I haven't noticed any yellowing, but he's only a couple months old. But I do have my Dolphy Dream, Harley. And I've had her for 3 years, I think. And she was not brand new when I bought her. And I don't see any yellowing on her that I can see at all. But the thing with vinyl is that I found that you have to worry about the most is not necessarily yellowing. And like I said, this is just my experience, and everybody's experience might be different. But with the ones that I've had, the only thing that I've ever worried about with vinyl dolls is cracking, because I still have a lot of my Tonner vinyl dolls, and they always get this crack on their shoulder, like this cracking. I don't know why, just over time, the vinyl starts to crack. I have not noticed that on these dolls. As you can see, is perfectly fine. But they do stain easily, so they could over time yellow. Unfortunately, I don't know, but I think for yellowing purposes, as long as you don't stick them right in the sun and you just keep them out and about, that they should be fine, because I've always kept her out. I've always kept my Smart Dolls on a chair out in our living room. Now again, it doesn't get a lot of sunlight, but you know, they're not behind glass or anything, and I've never had a problem. But you know, everybody's experiences might be different, but on average, I think that the vinyl does not yellow. So if you have vinyl dolls and they have yellowed, please comment down below, because maybe I'm just lucky. The next question is, since vinyl dolls tend to be lighter, does it affect making photos? If I get my resin to stand, they stand firm with wind and weather, which that is awesome, girl, because the only doll that I've ever been able to stand firm that is a resin doll is my Akagi doll. Fairyland dolls are really good and they can stand on their own, but it does take a lot more finickiness to make them stand firm. Whereas I literally can just stand him up. Literally just put him on the ground and stand him up. I'm sorry you can't see that, but he's literally just, I just picked him up and put him on the ground, and he's literally standing on his own. So for vinyl dolls, I've never really had my Dolphy Dream stand on her own. She does fall over unless she has a stand. Now, with Smart Dolls, they come with a telescopic stand that goes into their back. So it actually has a little hole to stick the stand in, and then they can just stand with the telescopic stand, and you can actually hide it behind their leg, so you can take photos of them and it looks like they're just standing by themselves with nothing helping them. And I think that's a really ingenious idea by Danny to do that, because I love photography, and a lot of the time, like the bigger dolls, I find it's very frustrating because they don't stand on their own, and the vinyl ones don't stand on their own, and so taking pictures of them, you have to have a stand. But with his idea where you can put the little hook, you can put it in the back and then hide it behind the leg, it's really cool. But Dolphy Dream does not have that, at least not yet. So I would say it depends on the vinyl doll, but on like average, like my Tonner vinyl dolls don't stand on their own. They need stands. So it really does depend on the doll, but unless you've got a doll like a smart doll with that telescopic stand in the back, they can't stand on their own. And again, they can't stand on their own because they need that telescopic stand. I have had my, I can't say that though, because I have had my smart doll EG stand when he's wearing his boots. He can stand on his own, but not for very long. And if there's wind and stuff, yeah, he would blow over. So I think Resin wins on this one. Okay. A third and probably weird question. How does dressing the vinyl dolls feel different from Resin? Resin tends to be hard to dress. Yes, it does. Everything is firm and getting trousers over their booty or shirt over their boobs can be a big hassle sometimes. My hope is that the slightly squishiness of vinyl is really more forgiving here and looks natural in clothes. How would you rate this from your experience? So, I love the way she said that. For me, I would say, oh, she lost her wig. I would say that I like vinyl for dressing better too. They do tend to be easier to dress because literally, this wig does not want to stay on. Literally, I just squish their neck and I can pull their head off. So it's super easy to put the head on and off because you just slide back on. And it's super easy to take their head on and off. So putting on shirts and stuff is super easy. The same with their arms. You can literally pop their arms out and then just pop them back in. And I love that because there's a lot less fear, I find, when you're dressing the vinyl dolls because it literally is just so much simpler. And it depends on the doll. Like, her boobs are kind of squishy. The smart doll's boobs are much squishier. Her butt's hard, but again, it's really not that hard, and it's less frightening because you know you're not going to break it by doing that. Whereas I find I get really nervous with my Resin dolls because they have a lot of joints and everything that can break, that could crack, or I find like sometimes they get stuck in certain positions, and then while you're trying to put clothes on them, and then when you like try and put it back, it makes this horrible noise. Luckily I've never, knock on wood, broken any of them by getting them dressed, but it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. Also, with their hands being so delicate, and you know, unless you have a hand like this or a hand like this, you are at risk of breaking off fingers when you're putting on clothes. Whereas with a vinyl doll, you don't have to worry about that. Now, also with Smart Doll, you can get different hands, and you can pop off their hands, and they literally just have like a little paddle. I can't think today. A little paddle for their hand. So you can literally just pop off their hand and slip it through a shirt or a top or whatever. So again, it's much easier. Now this is all talking about dolls in like the BJD size, not fashion dolls. Here's one of my fashion dolls, and I can show you to the I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the discoloration, and that is actually going to start to crack, and it's from moving the arm up and down and up, and that is wearing it down. And so like putting on clothes on them is not hard, but because of that fact, oh yeah, see, the one shoulder is already cracked. because of that fact, you have to move everything around and put it on. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking because I know that they will eventually crack. But with the Dolphy Dream and a Smart Doll, I have not had that issue, and I've not felt worried at all about putting on clothes. I do want to point out another thing with the vinyl fashion dolls compared to the vinyl BJDs. She did darken. I find that the Tonner dolls can darken over time. Their vinyl, but their vinyl is a different kind of vinyl. I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert on vinyl, but their vinyl is hard vinyl and it's a different vinyl. And I think their arms are supposed to be different vinyl than their body. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But so the way their body reacts is not necessarily the way that a Dolphy Dream's body will react or a Smart Doll's body will react. So again, hopefully this video was helpful and it wasn't just me babbling and being confusing. But there's definitely pros and cons to both. I love my resin dolls. I love the fact that they can look really realistic. They can emote a lot of feelings, and that's, I think, the huge difference, in my opinion, in what I've collected, that the vinyl dolls can't necessarily give off the same sort of emotions. Now, I could be wrong. There's probably vinyl dolls out there that can, but from the ones that I've had, I find like they tend to be more anime style. So they're more like cutesy or maybe fierce looking. But with a resin doll, they can come off like very moody and very like emotional, and like that's one of the things I love about Ziggy, is he looks like he's dreaming, and you know, you can make him look like he's sad and sort of a thing. So I like that about resin dolls. I like sometimes to have the weight of them because it feels more, I don't know how to, this sounds bad, but more expensive. Like when I did get my Dolphy Dream and my Smart Doll, I was kind of like, okay, they don't feel expensive, but they are expensive. And that's really weird. Because like when you're growing up, you know, you're not allowed to touch that. It's heavy and therefore it's expensive, right? So there's just some sort of like a luxurious feeling about resin and the way it feels and everything. It's just very luxurious. But it is, I would say, more easily broken, more easily damaged than the vinyl, from my experience. So like, that's why I like having the vinyl, because then I can just, you know, throw on some clothes, take them out and go and take them to photo shoots, because it feels more safe to me than walking around with a resin doll that I could drop or it could fall. So on that end, I think the vinyl dolls are better for going out and taking photos and going to meets and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I like having the different kinds of dolls. I think it's just really cool. So hopefully this video was interesting and it helped. And Kiwithefox, I hope that I answered your questions. Again, if you guys have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. I would love to hear from you guys. I am trying to get another video done for on Tuesday with Tammy from TamTamC. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but I would like to do another video with her because she's just so much fun. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please check that out. Yeah. Oh, so I have not heard from the giveaway winner for the 500 subscriber giveaway. So I am going to draw another name. I'm sorry if you did win and you are just watching this now. I've given you 2 weeks and I haven't heard, so I am going to do another pull another name. So if you are if you did comment on the 500 subscriber giveaway, please make sure that you watch the giveaway results, because it might be you, and if I don't hear from them, then I have to move on. So please check that out. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support. And even though YouTube has cut my monetization off now, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm still going to make videos and I'm still going to do what I do because I love doing this, and I love you guys and the support and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.